the U.S. has agreed to hold off on these annual military drills with South Korea as the South and the North start to have some preliminary conversations about the Olympics and other issues. Can you give us any backstory on, obviously that's a DoD thing, but State Department very involved in trying to facilitate kind of negotiations and sort of the diplomatic component of that was something Tillerson was advocating for?
I think one of the things that was important to us is having a good Olympics in which people can focus solely on the Olympics. The president, our president, President Trump, and also President Moon had a good conversation earlier today. They agreed the dialogue between the North and the South would actually be a good thing. That's something I've been saying for a couple days now, that when neighbors talk, that's not necessarily a bad thing. That kind of goes back to what Lori was just talking about in Iraq. When neighbors talk, especially about the Olympics, we don't see that as a bad thing. The fact that our president and that President Moon decided that it would be in the best interests of the Olympics and our government and our alliance relationship to hold off on having those exercises, military exercises right now, is certainly fine with us. That's the decision that they made.
So to take what you were describing a step further about it being helpful for neighbors to talk, does the U.S. hope that a successful discussion between the North and the South about the Olympics could be a precursor to broader talks either between North and South on nuclear issues or between North Korea and the United States?
I don't want to get ahead of ourselves at this point. We know that North Korea and South Korea are willing to pick up the phone. Neighbors can certainly pick up the phone and have a conversation about the Olympics, and they also have other issues of domestic concern that they certainly could discuss. We are in very close conversations and consult very closely with the Republic of Korea, an alliance member of ours. We have a good, long-standing relationship. Secretary Tillerson spoke with his counterpart, Foreign Minister Kang, just yesterday or the day before, I forget, overnight. So they had a good conversation as well. We are synced up very well with South Korea on this matter. Could that meeting that could potentially happen between the DPRK and ROK lead to something more in the future? Perhaps it could, but I don't want to speculate on anything in the future.
The follow-up Korea Happy New Year's. And North Korea is preparing to another missile testing soon again. What if North Korea trying to launch the missile again soon? Is it still postponed?
Jenny, why do you have to be the skunk at the party? We're doing okay here, huh? I don't know anything about potential missile tests. That would be, that would be an intelligence matter and a hypothetical. So I don't even want to get into that at this point. We have announced, there has certainly been some progress made, and the fact that North Korea and South Korea are willing to talk to one another just fine with us.
Do you know that Senator Lindsey Graham said that recently, if North Korea comes to Pyeongchang Olympic, then U.S. will not attend?
Look, I know that we are looking forward to participating in the Olympics. We have a lot of athletes who've been training a very long time in order to do this, and they look forward to being a part of the Winter Olympics.
You know that the North Korea is terrorism risk, and also North Korea is a human rights abuse. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So those kind of country, very dangerous country.
I know that the Republic of Korea takes good care of its allies.
I don't think so.
We are a strong ally of the Republic of Korea, and we look forward to participating in the Olympics.
The South Korean government paid.
Okay, I'm going to move on then. Arshad, you had something else on this?
Yeah. Well, North Korea. I mean, how is it that you have not essentially caved to the North Koreans on this? They repeatedly ask you to not do exercises. They repeatedly have asked for this specific exercise to be postponed and put off. Normally, the U.S. military goes ahead and does it because they don't wish to appear to be giving in to a North Korean demand. How is this not a cave to, an unprompted concession to the North without getting anything in return?
I think the last thing that this administration could be accused of is being an administration that caves to outside influences. If anything, people would perhaps argue the opposite. This is a measured approach that the United States has taken. This is showing the fact that Kim Jong-un's people were willing to pick up the phone and call the Republic of Korea is a strong indication that our maximum pressure campaign is working. We have information and evidence that the pressure campaign is really putting the squeeze to the money that the DPRK gets and has been used using for its illegal nuclear and ballistic missile programs. So we know that that is having an effect. Without that maximum pressure campaign that is led by us, but many other countries are a part of it, we do not believe that that phone call would have been made. If some people want to look at that as, the U.S. not succeeding, that's their choice, but we know the facts are that the entire international coalition is behind us in this pressure campaign, and it is working, and we're pleased with where this is going right now.
So why aren't you keeping up the pressure by proceeding with your regularly scheduled military exercises with your ally?
Look, that is something that is an announcement that came out of the White House in conjunction with the Department of Defense. I don't have anything more for you on that, other than that our focus was really on the Olympics. Okay? All right. Anything else on... go right ahead. Hi.
Just to clarify, are you suggesting that the scope of the talks between North and South is not limited to just the Olympics? So they could talk about denuclearizing and any other issues?
Our understanding is that these talks will be limited. These talks will be limited to conversations about the Olympics and perhaps some other domestic matters. That's what I said. Not beyond that. And when I say that we are closely linked up with the Republic of Korea, I can assure you that we are. This is not something where the Republic of Korea is going to go off freelancing. We're having lots of conversations with them and making sure that we are on the same page. It's not just about the Republic of Korea and the United States. It's also about Japan. It's about many other countries as well.
Okay. 2 days ago, you were skeptical about North Korea. You said North Korea was trying to drive a wedge between the United States and South Korea.
Could be, yeah.
So you still hold that account?
Well, look, any nation could try to drive a wedge between us and one of our allies. That's what many other countries do. But no one's going to succeed at doing that, especially with this country, whether it comes to the Republic of Korea or Japan. No one's going to drive a wedge between the two of us. When I was talking about being skeptical, I was referring to we are skeptical as to the sincerity of North Korea having talks about the denuclearization. That remains our goal. That's the goal of our pressure campaign, our maximum pressure campaign. We're not changing that goal in any way, shape, or form. We're still sticking to that. Would they be willing to sit down and have talks about that? We're skeptical about that, but certainly we're going to keep pushing for it. Okay?
And I've got to move on to a couple other people.
Okay.
Hey. The Paralympics are in March.
Okay.
Will the drills also be suspended during that time?
I don't have the dates of the Paralympics or where they will take place off the top of my head. We can look into that. We may not have anything for you at this point. Okay.
What did you ask from Iran?
I'm sorry.
Turkey.
Go ahead, Ilhan. Hi.
Hi. One quick question on Turkey, if I may. Yesterday, there was this court case in New York. It's a Turkish banker, public bank official, and he was found guilty by the jury yesterday. And since yesterday, there are many accusations coming from Turkey, including Justice Minister, the Prime Minister, as well as Foreign Minister of Turkey, basically essentially accusing the U.S. court going after Turkey's internal affairs. I'm not going to go into all these quotes, but what's your response to this court decision?
Yeah, a lot of those things, Ilhan, as you know, and it's not a very interesting answer to provide you, but a lot of those are under the Department of Justice. Turkey has made some claims in the past of doing things that the United States is not doing, and I could just have to refer you to the Department of Justice on that. Okay? We got to go, guys. Thank you so much. Great to see you. I'm sorry.
Just a quick question.
Okay, one question.
There are reports that the Trump administration is considering not waiving economic sanctions for Iran agreed to under the nuclear deal because of the protests. Is it true that the administration would consider linking the protests to nuclear-related sanctions?
I can tell you that we look at Iran with a large lens, an overarching view of our relationship with that nation and for that nation. And I'm not going to get ahead of anything that the president may decide or may not decide to do with regard to the JCPOA. Okay.
The Iran sanctions today that the Treasury announced, were those planned ahead of these protests, or should they be considered a response at all to the protests?
So that came out of Treasury just a short while ago, and that is all something that I don't want to speak for Treasury, But I believe all of that has been in the works for quite some time. When the president did his big Iran review, he talked about having the ability to sanction various authorities that undermine human rights, various authorities that are involved in transferring weapons, providing missiles and ballistic missiles and other types of equipment, and so I think it would fall under that. Okay? Gotta go, guys. I gotta go.
Speculation in Iran that the U.S. might sanction or go after Iranian state-run media.
I don't have anything for you on that. Okay? Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Heather.
Have a good day.